My name is Tracy. I'm a certified trauma coach, and I teach people to recover from trauma and abuse, regulate their nervous system, reclaim their authentic self, and parent from peace with the trauma history. And I want to talk today about neuroception. Neuroception is essentially your nervous system sitting in the background and observing and taking in everything. It picks up on a person's tone of voice, their body language, micro movements, the energy of a room, all of it. And unfortunately, when you have a trauma and abuse history, it is extremely sensitive and can be overreactive at times. Another part of it that I'd like to talk about is neuroception can sometimes get its wires crossed. Your nervous system can sometimes get its wires crossed, meaning oftentimes in situations where something feels familiar, our nervous system will perceive that as safe. That's a big reason why we stay in toxic situations longer than we should, because even though it's toxic and damaging us, it's familiar. We know what to expect to a degree. So, for all intents and purposes, that's safe because it's predictable and we know what to expect. But it is not physically, mentally, or emotionally actually safe, nor is it healthy for us. So when you start to transition into a healthier lifestyle, when you've gotten away from the trauma or the abuse, you might find yourself gravitating back towards people who remind you of your abuser, or gravitating back towards situations or environments that maybe mirror your past trauma or abuse. Even though it's unsafe, your nervous system is a little confused and it's recognizing a familiar pattern or a familiar data set that it's perceiving as safe when in fact it is not. And part of healing is recognizing that our nervous system needs some extra help right now. It is dysregulated. It is going to perceive things in our present moment and trigger our sympathetic nervous system or our dorsal vagal shutdown, when in actuality, it isn't really a threat. And there's going to be times where we're going to gravitate towards people or places that mirror what we've been through or who we've been with. And even though we know it's not good for us, because of the familiarity, it gets confused as safe. So learning to recognize what true safety is and being able to recognize when we're drifting back towards familiarity instead of moving towards safety is going to be extremely beneficial in your healing process. And we all go through it, especially in the early days when you get out of the abusive relationship or you leave the toxic environment or the traumatic incident has ended. We often find ourselves kind of gravitating back towards the familiar. As always, please follow, like, and share so we can share the education and support.